Peace, y'all. This is Hayes Reed of Hayes Reed and Astrology and Occult News. And this is going to be your Jupiter retrograde in Aries forecast. Jupiter is the planet of travel, philosophy, big picture things, and media. Jupiter retrograde in Aries is going to be taking place from July 28th to November 23rd. And what we want to expect and look for during this transit is re-establishment of our own boundaries, morals, and actions. Jupiter is a planet of travel and philosophy. It's a planet that rules over the abundance of experience. It rules over those points in our life where we expand our knowledge, where we expand our learning, we expand our vision with Jupiter. Jupiter's been in Aries for the last few months, a cardinal fire sign. So for the most part, Jupiter has expanded the force of nature that allows us to go for what we want, to represent ourselves, and to come in confidently. Jupiter has been expanding all that. So Jupiter has been expanding our head. It's been blowing up our ego, helping us to kind of get outside the box. Get outside the box, Jupiter says. Get outside the box. And so now, what we have here with this retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, meaning that Jupiter is going to be slowing down. Going to be slowing down and slowly kind of moving backwards, okay, into Pisces eventually, where it'll then turn direct on November the 23rd. At the top of Sagittarius season, Jupiter goes back direct. I love that because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. What we want to do during this transit is we want to refocus. We want to get all up in the mix. We really want to reorganize, you guys. We're at a pivotal point in our history right now to really turn the wheel. You know, this is a point where we can say, hey, we've been going in a direction, okay? Jupiter's travel. Aries wants to go. So Aries rules what? It rules our blood. It rules our direction. It kind of, in a lot of ways, Aries rules the head. So it rules our direction. It rules how we kind of think. You know, it rules kind of how we impulsively act. Our primal instincts is what Aries is. We all have Aries in our chart. Wherever Aries is in your birth chart would describe the way that you take action and where you step in and say, this is who I am. It's kind of in the way where you take your power, take authority, where you start things, where you respond to things. It's about war, it's about industry, it's about go. It's about the productivity in a lot of ways. Not necessarily productivity, that wasn't the right way to say that. And I think that even how I'm speaking about this right now, I'm conflicted a tad bit, right? Because Aries can be very productive. You know, Aries can produce a lot of energy, a lot of fire, right? So I think that what this retrograde is here to do is to give us another look at our fire. Where do we feel passionate about? And how can we now turn the wheel. You know, if you've been going in a direction that has not been right, you know what I'm saying? If you've just been going, if you've been angry, if you've been very, very kind of predisposed towards a certain way of responding and classifying, and always needing to be, in some ways, egotistical or biased about a certain thing, because that's Aries, this is a time where your viewpoints on a lot of stuff can change. Remember, Jupiter rules over higher philosophy and wisdom. It also corresponds to the media. And because why? Media shows us a picture. Media, you know, the news stations, churches, places of information, institutions of learning. This is going to be a point where we kind of, in a lot of ways, redetermine our philosophy about how we move in society, about who we are. It's going to pull back the layer of gender identity. It's going to pull back the layer of how we see ourselves in the greater scope of the world, and give us opportunity to look at things differently. This has been a time where people have been very self-righteous. People have put on this mask, especially over the last few months. I have seen people changing their masks, changing their faces. And even as I move my arms, this is kind of the mode that we're going through with Jupiter retrograde in Aries, is retraining ourselves to lock into these new skills, these new characteristics, these new personalities, helping us to move from within. Helping us to move from within. Not to project our insecurities onto other people, not taking on these political bias stances just because of how you feel, but Jupiter retrograding is helping us to take another look, a second look at who we've been and how we can use our own power to create new structures of media, arts, and healing spaces that will truly cause a new wave of compassion and respect amongst our communities. We are an earth family, white, black, green, gold, or brown. And while yes, there are racial constructs, political constructs, all these things, all these constructs, right? All these things. We need to really take a second look at ourselves and ask ourselves, who do we really say we are? What do we truly stand up and what do we truly believe in, right? The cards that I pulled for the Jupiter retrograde in Aries is the Two of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. Two of Cups meaning love, connectivity, connection, soulmates, soul group. This Jupiter retrograde happening in Aries, right, is really trying to get us to see its opposite sign, okay? Aries' opposite sign is Libra. That's the Two of Cups right there. Is people coming together. People coming together based on not political standards, not financial revenue, not any of these other identities that we've taken on. It's about true love and true connection at this point. And the way that we manifest those pure connections is based off of your true, authentic vibration. Who are you? Let's peel back the layer of your identity. Come have a seat. What's really going on? You know, what's really going on in your head? A lot of mental health stuff will come up with Jupiter retrograde in Aries, because Aries rules the head. Like I said, our mentality. Aries is ruled by Mars. How can we take a look at anger? How are we using our anger productively, constructively? How are we using even our sadness, because, you know, or our grief, because a lot of times sorrow is just anger turned inside out. It's time for us to get constructively angry. It's time for us to get constructively angry. For some of us, it's about getting mad at ourselves and saying, damn, I've been holding myself back. I've been holding on to belief systems that do not serve me. It doesn't serve me anymore. Whether that be religion, politics, gender, these gender norms or abnormalities. What are we really doing? That's like the question. What are we doing? Where are we going? For many of you, this is about getting out of individualism and going towards more collectivism. Getting out of individualism, going towards more collectivism, which is the Two of Cups. And the card that I pulled that crossed that was the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, meaning that you're only going to exit a cycle of karma, debt, by truly forming a relationship with the divine, your ancestors, and allowing the divine to pour into you so you can pour into yourself and other people effectively and correctly. So it's time to get with the program. It's time to stop stunting your growth and self-sabotaging yourself and really get with the vibe that you really want to get with. A lot of us have felt in our bodies, you know, the resistance to this change, to really be in our full selves, because it doesn't feel natural to truly be our full selves in a world that tells you that you are not good enough and that you don't measure up, when it's not you, it's the measurement that is wrong. It's the measurement. Even me, I'll be very honest with y'all. Right now, I don't feel 100% comfortable. I don't feel 100% comfortable talking on camera like this, but I know that I have to do it. I know that I gotta do it, but I don't feel comfortable completely. I'm getting there. And that's a big part of this Jupiter retrograde that can be incorporated with this retrograde, is to look at where you are, look at how you're used to reacting and responding and getting things, and you know, whether that be even workout, whether that be how you eat, whether that be sex, you know, how you making love, how you come into the room, you know, do you need to be a little bit softer? Do you need to be a little bit more theatrical? This is a big enhancement, Jupiter retrograde. It's a big enhancement. So I'm throwing all this stuff on the wall to get you to see, you know, just how many options you have. And that's pretty much Jupiter. Jupiter is about abundance. So in Aries, it wants to give you options. Jupiter in Aries wants to give you options as the individual, Aries, the leader, the pioneer of your life, to move. And now that you've seen all the options while Jupiter is direct, it's now time to gather those tools and really start to construct the new you that is ready for love, that is ready for miracles, that is ready for all the things that the universe is trying to give you. And the universe is trying to give you an assignment. Some of y'all, universe trying to give you love. Some of y'all, universe trying to give you a job. Universe trying to put you in a new position. But you got to be ready. Be ye ready. You got to use the tools that life is giving you. Life is giving you a lot of tools through the good, bad, and ugly. It's time for you to mix that shit. It's time for you. Who do you say you are? Okay? So this is my Jupiter retrograde in Aries. Jupiter retrograde from July 28th to November the 23rd, y'all. It's going to be like going through and really looking at what techniques you've built. What techniques have you gathered? And how can you get into your lab, get into the lab of your life and really start to reconstruct some things. So it's time, y'all. This is going to be a great time for creators, for artists, musicians, storytellers, book writers. This is that time to really get in your bag, get in your cave. Very, very hermit energy. Very, very, very hermit-like. Very, very hermit. So yeah, man, this is it. You know, this is it. Save yourself at this point, you know. Get out of any relationships that have been funky. Start to forgive yourself and start to work and build on yourself. Don't blame other people for the work you're not doing. You know what I'm saying? You go do it. And to this, I say peace, blessings, and ashe. And I thank y'all for spending this time with me. Peace and light, y'all.